that it is time for Army Black Rifle Football. As per usual, Steve Brighton, the Ouija board, Barrett Crawford, the dirt pin, John Abraham is producing tonight. And we are ready to rock and roll. And
Finally got your volume appropriate.
So I've been talking and nobody's been listening.
As usual, Bill, you're having a wonderful conversation with yourself.
Did you know the point is probably I didn't have anything worth saying anyway, except welcome to the show. We're glad you're all here tonight. We have got a great show in store for you. A great stow. But in our show tonight at the halfway point, which, by the way, we're 30 minutes early, we're going to have an exclusive interview with Bryson Daily.
Oh, yeah.
Captain America, the star of last year's Army team, number 6 in the Heisman Trophy balloting. And I'm really looking forward to catching up with him and seeing what he's doing now.
Get to hear about what he's doing. And also, we'll get to talk to him about his most recent football exploits.
Oh, yeah.
Being
a coach.
Oh, okay. We'll you'll find out with the rest of our.
I'm waiting with bated breath. So that'll be at about 7:30, folks. So make sure you tune into that and go ahead and get on your Facebook page and all your accounts and let people know that we're going to have Bryson Daily coming in to join us tonight. And we're going to give a little recap of the season and where we think it's at so far. We are now above 500, 5-4, which I think is a great thing. We had a good victory over.
It's a good thing.
It could have been. It could be a little bit better.
Where we're heading, we've righted the ship, and I hate to use a Navy term, but we got things turned around. Things were pretty rocky, and it took a little bit longer for this team to sort of come together to gel a little bit. But given, you look at the beginning of the season when we were 1-3, with that as a reference point,
it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Well, plus you got to realize too, and I know we've talked about this, we are 5 minutes of football away from being 7-2, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I agree. There are 3 games that we should, and I hate to do the shoulda, woulda, coulda. I hate it when other people do it, and I feel bad. I'm gonna have to take a shower when I get home. But it's the 3 games. Tarleton State, good team. They're going to be probably a first round bye in the FCS playoffs. They're doing great things, having a great season. But we should have beat them. North Texas, we were into the end. Should have won.
Overtime game.
Yeah, and then Tulane, same thing. We were hanging with them.
Had it in the last minutes.
Exchanging blows, and we allowed them to do that quick drive. The only
miracle catch, too, on that game.
The only game that we've truly been out of was East Carolina.
Yep.
And okay, take that, guilty as charged. We lost that one. We could easily have 3 more in the win column.
Oh, we'd be sitting at 7-1 right now in the American, getting looked at with Navy and North Texas and Tulane and everything. But I agree. North Texas Army loss in overtime, just a painful overtime loss. Tulane, we had the win. If it wasn't for, who knows what happened in the last play calls of the minute that we had the ball, and then Tulane making a phenomenal catch in the end zone. We're sitting at 7-1 in the American Conference.
And I happen to be sitting in the stands for both the Tulane loss and the North Texas loss.
Maybe. Oh, there you go. Okay. That says a lot.
We've identified, you're an ORSA. We've identified the common element.
That's statistically
you
there.
are the cause. Here's the moral of the story. Stay at home. There you go. Bill needs to stay away from Army football.
Well, I don't think that I'll be coming to any more games this year, but kind of as far as mid-season accolades, even though we're a little past mid-season, Steve, who would be your offensive and defensive MVP?
I tell you, if I had to sort of, snap the chalk line right now, maybe even dismiss some early kind of performance, I'd give it to our offensive line. Especially these last 3 games, I've loved what I've seen from the offensive line. They're starting to win in the trenches, dominate the line of scrimmage, getting that push and they've literally gotten better each and every game. So I'm excited about the home stretch and watching that dominant offensive line.
Yeah, I agree with you. Trying to replace the Joe Moore, offensive line from last year is not easy, but they definitely stepped up. My offensive MVP, I mean, dare I say his name, Kel Helms. But I mean, from going from the back and forth between him at the starting quarterback, and now he's the guy, and if Bryson Daly's listening, it may be a clone of him,
Yeah, he is. A lot of people, Bryson Daily, 201. I think at the comparable stage of their careers, he's playing about like Bryson Daly was when Bryson was a junior. But I've got kind of a surprise pick for my offensive MVP, and I'm going to go with Noah Short.
Oh,
I think Noah Short has been, when we need a big play, that's who has made the big play. When we need 10 yards for a first down, we give it to Noah Short on a pitch. When we need a big pass play, they throw Noah Short a wheel route, and he just has been very clutch for the team this year. So he gets it from me, Noah Short. Even though Kel Helms is a very, very, very good candidate too.
Oh yeah, and it's I love and like Coach Munkin mentioned when he was on the show last week, he's just a blue collar kind of guy. Just meat and taters, just gets after it, takes on, makes those tacklers regret coming after him, sort of the Earl Campbell kind of thing. Oh, you're going to tackle me? Okay. You're going to pay your dues when you do that.
Meat and taters, Steve, based on what I've seen you eating lately, I would say brisket and macaroni kind of guy.
Back at you, brother.
Well, and another one I'd kind of an offensive, maybe not MVP, but a most improved, and I say most improved, but Brady Anderson, the wide receiver, basically Cale Helms kind of go-to receiver on those long passes. And I say most improved because he had one crucial drop in the Tulane game where it was like you were open in the end zone. Oh my gosh. And then he caught every pass that's thrown at him now. And so I think highly of him as our wide receiver as kind of like our big one. But then, as you said too, Noah Short, he's listed as a running back or a slot back, but he's really a wide receiver. Don't tell anybody else.
All right. And what about a defensive MVP? I've almost got a tie for that, and I
could flip a coin as well, but
here's my two coin flippers, and they are Gavin Shields and Casey Larkin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was not thinking that.
Yeah, Gavin Shields, he had that
big interception,
ESPN top 10 moment in the UAB game where he looked like a punt return kind of guy. My two that I could flip a coin are two captains. Caleb Fortner and Aiden Thomas, and Thomas. I'd have to tip it to him. He's just been a dominant force. He just has a nose for the ball, and I think he leads the team in tackles. He's approaching 80 tackles on the season. May eclipse 100 on the season. But he's one of those guys instinctively. He's got a nose for the ball, and he's going to be where the action is on any tackle.
I completely agree. That was going to be my two, MVPs is the two linebackers, and Thomas, Caleb Fortner, the two captains of the team. I mean, they scream somebody who's going to go into the infantry, go first try through Ranger school, be an airborne ranger, and then be an SF, officer after that.
That all sounds well and good, but to Steve and I, former aviators, going through Ranger school is just like, that's like poison. I like to fly. Actually, I used to fly over those infantry guys with my little OH-58 helicopter, and I always kept a roll of toilet paper underneath my seat, and I'd go down low and wave it out the window because the message I was sending to them was, guess where I'm going to use the bathroom? Not like you out in the woods with the bears.
And this has been Bill Crawford.
Yeah, it's one-on-one.
How to win friends and influence people. Back to defense. One honorable mention, and I hate that he has missed a good chunk of the season, but Cody Harris Miller.
Oh, yeah.
The defense has been different the last two games, and I attribute a lot of that to him. He was back for
the Air Force game, right?
Yeah, missed. He was in the opener, missed every other game except the Air Force. Got back in at Air Force. He was gumming it up the middle. I like a lot of the Air Force's frustration running the ball was due to the fact that he was gumming up the middle. He's just a big body, gets that nice push. And I'm glad we're having him for the home stretch.
Yeah, I'm glad he's back. And to your point, kind of our defensive line doesn't get enough credit. I mean, yeah, you're not having a lot of sacks and stuff, but I think they've definitely improved through the season. And so we've seen a lot more pressure on the quarterback and a lot more scrambles. And I think our defensive line's doing well. And that's with Cody Harris-Miller coming back, in the Air Force game. But kudos also to the defensive back core. Colin Madison, Casey Larkin, and Gavin Shields and all of them just kind of holding it down and getting crucial picks when we need it.
All right, we got one more group on the team to pick an MVP from, and that is the special teams, where a little harder to pick that one.
A little bit harder. I'd go with the punter.
Yeah, I would too.
And, I mean, solely, Dawson Jones is great. Love him. And he's definitely improving. And I think Coach Monken kind of recognizes that, where if, at the beginning of the season where he missed those crucial field goals, and now he's solid, and he's somebody you can kind of count on. But our punter, James Wagenseller, just averaging just 40-yard or 50-yard punt, or even 6. I mean, he's doing a phenomenal time when we have to punt the ball, which hopefully we don't have to punt the ball a lot. But James Wagenseller, he'd be my MVP.
I'll tell you why I'm going to go with him, Barrett. It's just like the cook in the mess hall at the Army. Nobody says a word good about the cook unless the food is bad. And then that's all they can talk about. But the punter is kind of the same way. As long as the punter's doing what he's supposed to do, nobody says a thing. Says, hey, he's like the food in the mess hall. But once the punter is not good and he's having 10, 15-yard punts and shanking them out of bounds or doing worse stuff than that, then everybody talks about the punter. And we haven't really he has done a good, solid job this year, and he flips the field when he punts. What about you?
Yeah, and I would say the combination, the punt team as a whole, because that's a unit. When you look at the statistics for net punting, that's a function of, putting the boot on the ball,
getting downfield.
But it's also coverage and stuff like that. So hats off to Coach Saturnio in doing that. But I tell you what, I really like the way we've seen Dawson Jones sort of battle through, because there probably is no position, maybe shy of a quarterback, where the position is so mental. And, to be able to, and you're sort of a one-man show when you're out there as the place kicker. And, the weight of the world's on you, win or lose, and success or failure, based largely on yours. Now there's the hold, the snap, and all those kind of things. But it's you putting the boot on the ball and putting it in there. I really like the way he has battled back in the last few games. He's looked pretty solid.
You said the snap, and every Bama fan listening just had a flashback to that Bama-Oklahoma game in this field goal. But no, to your point, I mean, Dawson Jones, Air Force game, came back and got the game-winning field goal. So I'd put him in my MVP category too.
The kicker, to me, it kind of reminds me, Steve, of something you and I used to do, and that's when you're a helicopter pilot and you're flying an observation helicopter and you're single pilot and you've got 5 radios going on your head at the same time. You're trying to talk to the Air Force. You're trying to talk to field artillery. The colonel's breathing down your neck, and you got to keep all that straight, and your head is just jumbled, but it's just you. There's nobody else you can fall back on. And that's the same way it is with a kicker. It's just him and all the demons buzzing around in his head. And I think Dawson's done a good job. And I think Brody, that's not Brody. That's John. That's Captain Cool.
Don't worry, we'll make him do push-ups.
I'm sorry. We'll go ahead and get out of here for our first break. And when we come back, we're going to be living in Tulsa time for a little while. Crawdad back in a few.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit northalabamamortgage.com for more information.
This is Bill Crawford with Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Firehawk Aerospace is a non-traditional defense contractor advancing the state of propulsion to strengthen the U.S. Defense Initiative. Founded in 2019, Firehawk Aerospace established early leadership in manufactured propulsion with the development of 3D printed hybrid rocket fuel grains. Visit firehawkaerospace.com to learn more. That's firehawkaerospace.com.
Don't you wish that you had some secrets to help you get an edge on your business competition? Wouldn't it be great if someone could solve challenges at your company that you don't have the time or expertise to fix on your own? You know, there is a solution. Higher Echelon is a world-class consulting firm based in Huntsville that trains employees in sports psychology secrets to drastically improve work performance. Founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and has put that experience to good use. Higher Echelon helps organizations shave hundreds of hours off work time by improving processes, and Higher Echelon helps organizations save and make more money by walking them through technology updates and implementations. You don't have to go it alone, and you don't have to stay stuck. Higher Echelon is a trusted partner in organizational excellence. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com today to take your company to the next level. Go higher and go Army.
Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy was built on treating athletes, and today we treat so much more. Whether you're a high school competitor, weekend warrior, or recovering from surgery, Johnson & Hayes pairs you with a dedicated therapist for one-on-one consistent care. We offer specialized programs in sports rehab, neurological therapy, pelvic health, post-concussion care, and more. Founded by lifelong athletes, trusted by top physicians across Alabama, Johnson & Hayes delivers results. Visit johnsonandhayes.com and get back to what you love.
Sure, Valley Equipment Rental takes care of the homeowner and his needs, but how about the pros out there? Well, Valley Equipment has the big stuff as well. The equipment you need to get any job done. I'm talking about the big track hoe excavators, from the 30,000-pound mid-size one to the big boy 50,000-pound units. Need a dozer on the job? Well, they've got them up to 105 horsepower, and that's a good-sized machine. Plus, Valley Equipment has more lifts than anyone around. Up to 80-foot booms that reach 56 feet with a 10,000-pound capacity. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Check them out today.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
Living on Tulsa time.
Living on Tulsa time.
Well, you know I've been through it when I sit my watch back to it.
Living on Tulsa time. Hey,
We're losing listeners here.
now we're losing listeners by the minute, but hey, that is who we're playing this week. We
Yeah,
are playing.
but hopefully we'll be living
on Army time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Tulsa 3-7 Tulsa. Good job, by the way, John. The 3-7 Tulsa Golden Hurricane, not Golden Hurricanes, Golden Hurricane. They're making the trip from Tulsa to Mikey Stadium. They're going to play at 11 o'clock. And I don't know, guys. I'm mighty confident about this game. It's not even one really that is scaring me a whole lot. What do you guys think?
I'm always nervous. We have one more game to be bowl eligible, or we have 2 more attempts to be bowl eligible, and Tulsa and UTSA stands in our way. And to me, Tulsa seems a little unpredictable, but they're like somewhat unpredictable, but I think we can handle it.
I'll be honest. If we don't, I will be disappointed if we don't win by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And so, but at the same time, we really haven't seen, especially the offense in particular, we haven't seen them put it all together. I mean, we've got some big play threats. We've got a capable quarterback. We've got a offensive line that's really coming together. I'd like to see them pull it all together and just have a dominant win. And that'll be great for our final 2 games as we, go to UTSA, which I think is going to be a tough game on the road, and then Navy 2 weeks later. So I really thought Temple, again, I thought we'd win by 7 to 10 points against Temple. Didn't quite do it. Now, a lot of that was you got 2 time of possession teams that ate up. There were only total of 12 possessions. Tulsa is definitely not that. But to say that I'm not even just a tad nervous, we'll see. I'm optimistic that the offense is going to pull it all together this game.
I'm optimistically pessimistic.
No, I agree with you too, Steve. I mean, looking at Tulsa, they had some big wins against Oregon State and Oklahoma State, but they're big wins because those are big name teams, but they're not doing too well. Other than that, Tulsa is not doing too well in the American Conference, where they're like 1-something in the American.
Yeah.
And I think their only win is against Charlotte, Charlotte's not that well. But I agree. I think if we should end the game with a score of more than 2 touchdowns. But then again, I don't. It all comes back to what's the game plan Coach Monken's going to come out with this team that likes to do a run first and then throw those quick passes. And so the defense is going to have to, and we say it every show, the defensive back's going to have to close that gap with the wide receivers, and we'll see what happens.
And get that pressure up front.
Get that pressure.
The other variable here is, they're coming off of a great win. They beat Oregon State.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not the Oregon State of 5-7 years ago. They're one of 2 teams remaining in the Pac-12. And they're having trouble recruiting. They're currently in the Massey Composite, ranked 121st out of 136. So not a big team, but they're a pseudo Power 4 team. That may give them some emotional momentum coming into this game, whereas we struggled with Temple. But I think all those dynamics, I'm excited. I think the team's going to come in here healed, fresh, energized, and I think this is going to be a great game.
Sounds like a laundry commercial.
And it
fresh,
smells
energized.
And it smells good too.
Well, I tend to think one of the things you guys alluded to is the emotional push on this game. This is senior day at West Point. This is the last game our seniors are going to play on Mikey Stadium, and I think they're going to be motivated for it. Coach Monken is 10-1 in senior day games, and I think these guys are going to be fired up. They're going to be hitting on all 6 cylinders. They're going to want to leave with a win in their last game at Mikey Stadium, and I think the Golden Hurricane is going to be swept out to sea. And by the way,
that was very clever.
How about
clever,
that?
Bill? Clever.
One of the things I think is interesting about Tulsa, that's probably the only school we play where we have a larger student body. They only have 3,700 students at Tulsa.
Public university too.
University.
And like I mentioned, where I work, our chief engineer is a Tulsa grad. And he was the one that brought that to my attention. He said, "Yeah, we probably got a smaller student body than you do," and I was surprised to find that out. But looking at their team, we've talked about how they're run first. They're actually a balanced attack. On the season they have rushed the ball 409 times, and they've passed it 354. So slightly in favor of the rush. And rushing offense, they're 54th in the country, just shy of 170 yards per game. But, like Baird said, passing game, they're not a deep ball threat.
No.
They do like a lot of the quick passes, the quick outs, the quick slants, and those kind of things. I think they average about 6 yards of completion. But they don't do very well. They're 114th in the country in team passing efficiency. So when they do pass, they don't do it very well. And it sort of goes downhill from there defensively. And to me, that's what gets me pretty stoked about it, because on rushing defense, they're 100th in the nation. They give up on average 171 yards and total defense, 405 yards of total offense. So I think, again, Holm should have his way, with Tulsa in this.
Here's a little prediction I have for this game. We will not punt.
Oh,
that's a big one.
Okay.
We will not punt. We won't have to. Every fourth down we go for, we're going to get it, and we are going to.
And hopefully, we're not going for it on a lot of.
Hopefully,
downs.
we're not
I'd
going
like
to
to
see
see
the
the
third down conversion. Yeah. No, what gets me is kind of what you said too, that they're coming off a big win over Oregon State. They got some momentum coming in it. But Tulsa, what is it? First year head coach, first year starting quarterback from East Tennessee, and
who came here together from East Tennessee.
East Tennessee.
Yeah, so they've had a couple years together. That's
got a game plan and everything. But I think they got momentum. In my mind, it's like, do you put Tulsa in with UAB and Charlotte, within the American? Because those were kind of winnable games. They're kind of bottom in the American Conference, but are they better than a UAB and Charlotte? And I think so, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, better than Charlotte. I think they're probably right there with UAB.
So that's why I think I think this is a very winnable game if we play solid Army football.
Note, Coach Woody, take this note down. They've got a freshman quarterback. We can rattle him. Let's get some pressure on this guy.
Oh, yeah.
And let's make him eat that football all day long. And also one more note to Coach Dixon, pull the defensive backs up just a little bit closer to the receivers. Maybe they won't get so much. So, guys, we got a couple of minutes while we're talking about Tulsa. You want to give me a prediction now or wait till the end of the game, the end of the show?
I got mine.
Yeah, I've got mine. I've got us winning by 2 touchdowns, 31-17.
I had it 31-14. That was it was literally that, but it was instead of, Tulsa only getting 2, and that's probably in the fourth quarter.
I got it 34-10 Army. I think we're also, one more prediction. We're going to have over 400 yards rushing, no punts. Write this down, people. Hold me accountable.
Put your bets in now.
And when we come back, we are going to have Bryson Daily join us. Captain America, probably one of the greatest quarterbacks and one of the greatest players in Army football history. So let's go ahead and hop out of here, and we will talk to Bryson on the other side. Fingers crossed that he remembered our phone number.
If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go Higher and go Army.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
This is Bill Crawford with Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Firehawk Aerospace is a non-traditional defense contractor advancing the state of propulsion to strengthen the U.S. defense initiative. Founded in 2019, Firehawk Aerospace established early leadership in manufacture propulsion with the development of 3D printed hybrid rocket fuel grains. Visit firehawkaerospace.com to learn more. That's firehawkaerospace.com.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today. 256-202-4200. That's 256-202-4200.
Annuities, not advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. A few showers remain possible for this Thursday night across the Tennessee Valley. Otherwise, we'll continue to sit under clouds. Low temperatures fall into the low 60s for the overnight. Heading into our Friday, expect to see mostly rain. A few thunderstorms could be possible. High temperatures warm into the low 70s for the afternoon.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Back, everybody. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford alongside Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board, and Barrett the Dirt Pig Crawford, the scourge of the 150 sprint football team. And we're joined now by a very special guest, probably, in my humble opinion, one of the greatest players in Army football history, certainly the greatest quarterback I've seen in quite some time, and that is Captain America, Bryson Daily. Bryson, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Glad to be on. Appreciate you guys having me on talking some Army football.
Well, hey, I can think of nobody I'd rather talk Army football with than you. But before we get to some of your exploits on the gridiron, kind of give our listeners an update on what has happened to you since graduation, your commissioning, branching, all that stuff, and where you're at right now.
Yes, sir. I graduated in May. Commissioned as second lieutenant. Got to take some leave, which was good. Got to get back home, go to a lot of my buddies' weddings on the team. That was a whole lot of fun. And then I reported back up here to West Point for my grad assistant time. I'm working with the football team up here at the prep school. It's kind of, Army's version of a redshirt year. So I'm here with all these guys and been coaching them up this season. It's been a lot of fun. Recently got engaged. And I'll head to Fort Benning, Georgia here in January. So just kind of waiting on that now.
Oh, so it looks like you're going to be a cross sticks man. Are you going to head off to Ranger School too, or is that in your future?
Yes, after infantry bullock, which is about 4 to 5 months, I'll go to Ranger School in the summer. So excited for that and trying to get ready for that right now.
Fantastic. Well, before we jump into the meat of Army football and talking about that, I understand from an article I read recently that your football exploits did not end last season, that you played a little football, a little different variety earlier this year and brought home the hardware. Tell us about that.
Yes, me and 3 of the other grad assistants here at the prep school, we were on the youth map, which is the name of the prep school, youth map staff and faculty flag football team, and we won the old man's league here on post. And, it was a lot of fun.
That's not even fair. That's just not fair.
They had no chance. Well, hey, Bryson, I just wanted to ask you about the prep school in general and kind of what you're doing and what you're coaching over there and kind of what those guys look like. Are you just kind of molding the next generation of the Army Black Knights?
Trying to do our best here. So I went to prep school, and I remember the grad assistants that we had such a big impact on all of us. I still remember those guys. Those guys would come to games, later on throughout our careers, and they keep up with us, we keep up with them. Those were always guys and figures that we could really look up to, and so I just wanted to, be that for these guys. And I've been lucky enough. I was the offensive coordinator and then the quarterback and running backs coach this year. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time. It was a lot, though. Calling plays is a lot harder than running plays. A lot of respect to Coach Worley and what he does every day.
Hey, Bryson, we're down here and Army football folks in SEC country, and although we're 3 grads and we're very familiar with the prep school, kind of give our listeners a little overview about why the prep school exists, how it interacts with Army football, and what the life of a prep school person is like.
Mm-hmm. So the prep school is mostly made up of athletes and prior enlisted cadet candidates that are trying to get into West Point. The main factor that puts kids here is academics. That's where a lot of the athletes are trying to get their grades up a little bit before they get down the hill, as we call it, down to West Point. And then the prior enlisted soldiers that come in here are just, a few years separated from school, so they kind of need a gap year to, reintegrate themselves back into, a college life. So they get that year, and then they're ready for West Point. And then injuries is the other thing that will send kids here. If they just tore their ACL or they had some other sort of problem that they couldn't get into West Point, they get a year to rehab that and then get to go. So it's a great place for kids just to get ready to go down the hill to West Point, whether that's academically, physically, or in the classroom, anything like that. Like for me, I had an injury coming in. I couldn't get into West Point automatically with that injury, so I got to spend a year here at prep, and it was great development for me.
Oh, that's fantastic. So let's talk a little Army football and take a look at the 2025 season, your first season, away from the team. And I'm sure you followed the team well, and given especially a lot of your contacts in that. So as you look at the team, have had some struggles in a couple of the games, but overall trending well. As you look at the team, what do you like about what you see?
Man, the first thing is just the fight this team has shown all year. Like you said, it's been up and down, but I haven't watched a game yet that I didn't think that they weren't fighting till the end. A ton of heartbreaking losses. I know it's been tough for those guys to go through some of those, but just how they've responded each week after, those tough losses, that's been awesome to see. Like some really good football teams that they've been one-score losses to, North Texas, Tulane. Those games were tough, but just the fight they keep showing up with every game has been awesome to see, and that's going to be a great, trend going forward to these last 3 games. So,
well, hey Bryson, with you being kind of on the sidelines now and kind of in the stands, do you keep in contact with Cale Helms and Dwayne Coleman and kind of giving them advice throughout the season?
100%. Yeah, I've talked to those guys quite a bit, and Cale reaches out a lot now. He's kind of become starter and been playing well. But yeah, he'll reach out and I'll reach out to him. Tell him great job, and I'll go down to their practice sometimes and catch up with them. And they're doing great, and he's really coming into his own as a quarterback, which has been awesome to see. He's becoming his own player and kind of getting some confidence in himself, getting a few wins here and there. So it's been really cool to see because I'm good friends with him, and he was awesome to have in the quarterback room with me these past 2 years before. And it's been really cool to see him produce the way he has on the field.
Well, I'll tell you this, Bryson, we have a big alumni group down here in Huntsville, and we got 5,322 people on our Facebook page for our show. And I often hear people say that Bryson Daily and Cale Helms are very comparable. In fact, I've heard people say that Cale, at this stage of his career, mid junior year, is about where you were at the same time. How do you evaluate it? And by the way, that's meant to be a compliment to you, by the way, and a well earned compliment. Do you kind of see him paralleling your career a little bit?
Yeah, and I will say I think he's his own player. He's a little bit different skill set. He's a little better in some areas. But I was saying this the other day. I don't remember who I was talking to, but I think he's ahead of where I was as a junior, as far as how much weight they're putting on him to really run this offense, carry this offense, and I think he's ahead of me at this point in our careers, which is awesome to see. It's tough that first year starting. I went through a bunch of growing pains and struggled a lot at times. So just seeing him get as much confidence as he has this early in his junior year, and now it's late, but I saw it earlier in the season how well he played. It's been awesome to see him. He'll continue to grow.
Tell them they can come in.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, good stuff there. So this Saturday, senior day at Mikey Stadium, and given the fact that you're 1 year removed from that whole experience, just talk us through maybe the emotions as they get to the stadium, suit up, head out on that field, realizing that this is going to be the last time they take the field at Mikey. Tell us about some of your emotions, maybe how that impacted the game, or the full gamut of experience a year ago when you went through that.
Yeah, it's always special, and I will say, every Army football team I've been a part of, plays really well on senior nights. Like, guys just, they start getting recruited by this place, and they come see it for the first time, and it's just unbelievable. The campus, football stadium, how historic and awesome it is, and then you get to play in games there and practice there as a team, and it becomes a really special place. And that's something that we take a lot of pride in, is playing well at home, defending our turf, winning at home. That's what we do, and it's very special. And ours last year, our senior night was actually over Thanksgiving, and so the core wasn't there, which was disappointing because they were home for Thanksgiving break. But luckily, we were able to get the conference championship at home, and so that was like an extra senior night, which was really, really cool. So our last game at home actually ended up being our second to last game.
Yeah, that's right.
But it was awesome getting that conference championship at home and getting to play our last game in front of the core, get a full stadium. It was really cool. So we were very lucky to get that last one with the whole core cadets.
And speaking of that American Conference Championship game, if you were down here in Huntsville, Alabama, we were partying our butts off with that win, and we were loving watching you hoist up that MVP trophy. But before the game, and kind of during, were you guys, what was the emotions going into that game against Tulane, and then kind of ultimately winning it and the cadets storming the field? Kind of what was the emotions throughout the day?
It was unbelievable. Just how hard we had worked, and the struggles of 2 years prior. It's just all a culmination of everything we had put in, to get Army football back to where, we thought it should be. And that's, championship, level team. And just getting there and getting to play in that extra home game in front of the core, it was all just, a big reward for all the stuff we put in together, starting and the spring and then going into summer, all that work had just finally, come to fruition. And it was awesome. And it was a great game. And I think that's the most complete game I've ever been a part of as a player. Just all three sides of the ball, complimentary football, playing really well. So it was an awesome game to be part of, and definitely one of my best memories as an athlete ever. So,
I can guarantee you this: it was one of our best memories too. We watched that game together. But a question I'd have for you, just kind of a generic question. I know you were a star of the team. You were a leader. You were in the national spotlight, and there's a lot of other people on that team who are hard workers. They're not stars, but they're good members of the team. And I'm just wondering, from the star of the team down to the lowest player on the team, how much does Army football prep you for a career as an Army officer?
That is what I'm excited to see, because while I am an officer, I'm second lieutenant. I haven't even gone through Bullock, haven't been able to, get to my platoon with my soldiers. So everything we'll talk about it was what I've heard from others that have gone through it. And everyone says it's the closest you'll ever get to a football locker room or a football team, and just the closeness and the camaraderie. So that's why I'm so excited for this next chapter to keep having that relationship, because I knew when it was all over, just how much I was going to miss the guys in the locker room, just, messing around after practice, just the meals, all that stuff that you're going to miss. But the Army is very much like that, and how you interact with your soldiers and, going towards the same common goal. That's what I'm really looking forward to as I go forward in my Army career.
So, having come out of Coach Monken's leadership school, as a football player, it was all about the next game. You could ask him about 2 or 3 games down the road, and he'd say, "No, we're focused on the next game." But now that you're no longer a player, you're allowed to look down the road just a little bit further. So, Army Navy got a Navy team that appears to be pretty potent on offense, dual threat quarterback. Defense is struggling a little bit. How do you feel like the Army team will match up with them?
That game is always, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the record. It doesn't matter how a team's performed all year. Obviously last year and then my freshman year, I think those are the 2 best teams we've had at Army in my 4 years, and we lost both of them. So it's, you never know going to that game. It's who puts in the most work, who wants it the most in that week. And it's a rivalry. It's true, the best rivalry in college football, and that's how it always shakes out. It's always down to the wire, and it's always just a couple of plays that have to be made. So, it's not as much X's and O's in that game. It's just who gets their team, the most ready to play. So, I know we have a bad taste in our mouth. Those young guys who were on the team last year have a bad taste in their mouth, and they've been working all off season to get ready for this one. And yeah, like you said, we don't look, games further in front of the first one, but you always have Navy in the back of your mind. You always have Air Force in the back of your mind. That's why you work so hard in the off season. That's why you work hard throughout the week, so that you are ready when those games come. And I know these guys will be ready. I'll be at the Army Navy game, and I'm so excited to watch them and get their revenge for us. So.
Well, just so you know, Steve and I were at the White House with you when you last received the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. And one thing I was wondering, now, I've always thought of you as sort of like Taysom Hill, the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. And so you walked off the field for the last time. And is football now in the rearview mirror? Did the pros ever even remotely reach out and tap you on the shoulder? Or was your last game forever?
For right now, yeah, it's over. And I thought about it a little bit, but I was so injured. I was dealing with a bunch of stuff at the last third of the season. My body was just going through it, and by the time January rolled around, it was time to make that decision of, do I train for a pro day? Do I get an agent? All that stuff, and my body, my mind just wasn't in it, and so I just made a decision, hanging them up. But I told myself if I really still have an itch for it, 2 years in the Army, I could maybe try again. But for right now, they're hung up, and I'm good and moving on to this next chapter.
Well, I think you're going to be a success at whatever you do. And one final kind of a lighthearted question from a Century man: did Captain America ever walk the area?
I actually had I had 60 hours.
Oh, okay.
I like you even better now.
I had the real cadet experience.
Yeah. There you go.
I was actually performing those hours every Monday of last season. So,
wow.
So that's what I was doing every Monday.
Well, hey, there's a lot of us that can relate to that and say, Bryson, we really thank you for your time. I can just tell by talking to you that you're going to be a kick-ass Army officer, and congratulations on your upcoming wedding. And let's see what we can do about the Golden Hurricane this weekend. As we always say, beat Navy.
Beat Navy. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go ahead and get out of here, John, and we'll come back for a very quick final segment.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Don't you wish that you had some secrets to help you get an edge on your business competition? Wouldn't it be great if someone could solve challenges at your company that you don't have the time or expertise to fix on your own? There is a solution. Higher Echelon is a world-class consulting firm based in Huntsville that trains employees in sports psychology secrets to drastically improve work performance. Founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and has put that experience to good use. Higher Echelon helps organizations shave hundreds of hours off work time by improving processes, and Higher Echelon helps organizations save and make more money by walking them through technology updates and implementations. You don't have to go it alone, and you don't have to stay stuck. Higher Echelon is a trusted partner in organizational excellence. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com today to take your company to the next level. Go higher and go Army.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit northalabamamortgage.com for more information.
This is Bill Crawford with Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Firehawk Aerospace is a non-traditional defense contractor advancing the state of propulsion to strengthen the U.S. defense initiative. Founded in 2019, Firehawk Aerospace established early leadership in manufactured propulsion with the development of 3D printed hybrid rocket fuel grains. Visit firehawkaerospace.com to learn more. That's firehawkaerospace.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Listen to the Alabama Football Recap Show every Sunday at 11. Smoked by Dreamland Barbecue. Ain't nothing like 'em nowhere. On 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. A very quick, short segment to end the show here on Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff. I'd like to try to cram 3 commercials into one. I'd like to skip into Nick's Ristorante on my new stem cell replaced knee, dance a little jig, have a good meal and a cocktail, and then sit down with Brian Hammaker of North Alabama Mortgage and conduct a good refinance deal.
That was outstanding.
That was pretty good, yeah.
How about that? Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed our interview with Bryson. I thought that was one of the best we've ever had. A quick reminder to find all of our stuff you want to on our Facebook page, which is most capably managed by Steve Cripey. We have 5,322 of you folks on there now, and we got room for you. Just come join us and see how it's going. It's not just Army football, it's everything Army sports is on there. Steve?
There are 22 and about days until Army beats the hell out of Navy at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland.
So that game's coming up pretty soon. And if we win out, that gives us an 8-4 record, and I would deem that a successful season.
Yeah. Life is good.
Life is good, and it's been good tonight. Oh, reminder, next week, folks, we're going to be on Tuesday night instead of Wednesday. We have a deal here at the station with Alabama basketball, and they're going to be playing Wednesday night, so we're on Tuesday.
And that's all we got to say about that.
And that's all I got to say about that. So I guess we might as well go ahead and get out of here.
Yeah.
And I will say this as we go out of here, something I always say at the end of every show: no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, there's a soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, Merchant Marine, Coast Guard member, even a Space Cadet in the Space Force. They're standing watch right now so you can enjoy the life you have in this great country of ours. Go Army.
Be Navy.
Let's get out of here, John. Back next week. See you in a week. Beat the Golden Hurricane.